So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snyder Cutdown. I'm your boy, BrogiNaric, with my guest, Crispy Man.
Hello.
Yes. And we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, which was released back in 2013. Now, this whole series, known as, what we're calling the Snyder Cutdown, is sort of a build-up to Zack Snyder's Justice League, which will be dropping on HBO Max at some point in 2021. I'm guessing March.
Yeah.
I'm guessing March. So we wanted to go back and look at Zack Snyder's previous work within the DCEU because we're big DC fans. We love the Justice League, we love Batman, Superman, and we have some sort of iffiness about sort of Zack Snyder's direction.
Some colorful opinions.
Now, this particular video, I would say, about Man of Steel, is not going to be just a big fest about how much we hate this film. Because, well, at least on my point, because I will say, when this movie first came out, I fucking hated it. I hated it. But, over time, I don't hate it as much. It's actually not that bad. It's a solid film. I will give that. A lot of people from when it first came out were like, "This movie's great." A lot of people when this movie came out, they were like, "Fuck this movie." I'm kind of on the it's serviceable.
Right.
I can see the intention, the good intent behind it.
Right.
You know, but I do still have problems.
I'm a little bit different in my thought process.
Right.
I actually liked it when it came out, and I still like it.
Yeah.
I actually do. It's my favorite Snyder film in general.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Genuinely, and as we move forward into this series, the people will find out, and you already know, I am not in love with the man.
No, you're not.
Or any of his work. But so this should be a shock when I say, for me, and I'm jumping ahead a bit, this is a solid 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Like, I like this film. It's not perfect.
No.
It's got a lot of flaws, in fact, but I do very much enjoy it.
Yeah. So let's see how we got around here. So, Superman 4, that bomb, Quest for Peace.
Right.
And Superman's movie history has been wishy-washy really since then. But, you had the Lois and Clark show in the 90s. That was the hit. There was going to be you had the Superman Justice League cartoons. That was popular. And then you had the failed Tim Burton movie with Nick Cage that they were trying to get off the ground. And then in 2006, we had Superman Returns.
You're not seeing the big picture here. Now fly.
Directed by Bryan Singer, starring Kevin Spacey, and one of the best Supermen, Brandon Routh. And
I don't know why I forgot that Kevin Spacey was in that movie.
It's so problematic, man. It's 2021. That movie is problematic as fuck. So, yeah, Superman Returns came out, had a lukewarm reception, and Warner Brothers went back to the drawing board and entered the man Zack Snyder, who was a person who had proven that he had read at least one comic book. So
a comic, yeah.
Yeah. So they was like, get that guy, because he knows the comics. He likes the action.
Right.
He likes the special effects. That guy.
Yes. He likes the spandex.
Right. He likes this. He does. That's the thing. He likes the spandex. He does. The spandex. I'll give him that.
He likes the leather rubber suits.
He does, and he makes them look good.
He does.
He does his best. So this, like I said, this film, a lot of controversy when it came out. A lot of people are confused on whether it was a hit or not. And it was a hit. It wasn't like a bomb. Like some people might have that misconception that this movie bombed. It did. It's just the critical reaction and some of the fan outrage to a degree kind of muddied the waters a bit. It wasn't a huge runaway success like, say, maybe like a Batman Begins or even the first Spider-Man film or the first X-Men film. But it did well,
Right.
So let's What are some of the things that you think stand out to you in this film? Like when you think of Man of Steel?
Well, when I think Man of Steel, obviously I think Zack Snyder, and when I think Zack Snyder, I think imagery, and I do think, I think for all of the shit that I will give him moving forward, he is a man who does know how to set up a scene, or he knows how to set up a moment.
Yeah, he does.
And this movie's full of them, genuinely.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the biggest and best thing to come out of this film is Henry Cavill, specifically. Now, he was, already around in Hollywood before that. He was already doing television and movies, but I think this certainly launched his career.
Yeah, because that was the thing. This cast is a really good cast. Like the cast, you got Russell Crowe, Lawrence Fishburne, Amy Adams, Kevin Costner, what was it, Diane Lane. And you got these star-studded people surrounding this, not necessarily unknown, but not the most known actor, which is Henry Cavill. Because I didn't know who the hell he was.
All right.
And I think he was. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I get that way when I talk about Henry Cavill.
You get a little choked up thinking about that.
I get a little choked up thinking how they destroyed his career.
Oh shit, yeah. I thought you was choked up about the Mavs,
I mean, them too.
But yeah, you're right. They surrounded this British actor who really dedicated himself to this role. Like the physical fitness he went through to shape, to mold his body. Because if you look at pictures,
the physical fitness, that he adapted and has continued to do even to this day.
He has not let shit. He's just like
7 years on, or 8 years on now, I guess, from when they were filming the movie. Mm-hmm. He is bigger now than he's ever been.
Yeah, he's on that rock shit where he just gets bigger as the years go on. Like with age, he just gets bigger. But yeah, it's like he really went through it. And now Cavill, I would say he has the look of Superman. His acting in this film, I think, is probably one of the weaker points as a whole. And that's just how I feel about it. Like every other actor, I think, really holds their own for what they're given. And I don't think Cavill's really given that much, or at least what he's given is not. It doesn't necessarily grabs me as much, I would say.
Right. I was gonna say that I feel like maybe that's more of an issue with the material he was given or the characterization of Clark and Superman, through Zack Snyder's eyes. And did Goyer help write this one?
Yeah. Oh well, yes. It was Goyer and Christopher Nolan.
Deborah?
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Yes. Because this was when Warner Brothers was like, well, Dark Knight made a lot of money, so Christopher Nolan knows comics, which he doesn't. I'm just looking at his movies, tell you he does not give a shit about comics. But
right.
They were like, hey, do Superman now. And he's like, okay.
No.
He's like, I guess. And that's where the groundedness aspect of this, because this movie is, the structure of this film is very much taking from Batman Begins. Nolan's movie, and David S. Goyer's who helped also write that. But I think the whole jumping around different timeline stuff works far better in BVS than it does in this movie. I think it really it establishes itself a little better when it goes between the jumping of time. As opposed to this is kind of at the beginning, then he's adult, then he's a kid, then he's adult, then he's a kid. It's a little more erratic, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of his origin in this is told through flashbacks to kind of explain the scene that's either being set up or the scene that we just saw.
So let's get into it. The film starts with the birth of baby Kal-El on his home planet Krypton. Which, how do you feel about the depiction of Krypton? Because I'm kind of iffy. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it.
I mean, I like it because it's definitely a more unique and it's a different take on Krypton than we would generally see. Most times we see Krypton in the comics, it's based on the Reeves Superman. The Rick Donner take on it. Yeah, a lot of white, a lot of crystals. Very sleek unitards that everyone's wearing.
Yeah, Smallville did the same.
Right, exactly. So a lot of times we see that depiction of it. So it's definitely cool to see a Krypton that's, unbeknownst to the people on the planet, or at least most of them on the planet, it's thriving, but it's not actually.
Yeah. I didn't know, but I watched the special effects because the movie doesn't quite explain it. The reason for Krypton exploding usually is the sun has gone bad, and then the sun explodes, and that kills Krypton. And this is the people of Krypton has wrecked their own environment. They've been testing this unstable energy source at the planet's core.
Right.
Which I was like, oh, that's different. I kind of like that.
Like I said, it's a different take. It's a unique take. It's not one that generally you see. I haven't read every Superman comic ever, so I can't say that it is inspired by something that already existed, but it's newish to me, and I think it's probably new to most people who are familiar with Superman as a whole.
Yeah.
And in that regard, I like it. Now that said, I didn't need that scene.
You didn't.
I didn't need it. I know everyone knows Superman's origin. We didn't need that.
True, but it establishes certain things. It established Jor-El, who was played by Russell Crowe. It established that
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, yes. He's a smart scientist, but he's also a badass.
Australian, yes.
We have to establish that Superman's dad ain't no bitch. All right, which is a theme in all of these. This is a theme in Zack Snyder's movies. I've noticed.
Yes, that is a
hero's father ain't no bitch. So
that's a Snyder trope in general. Is that no main character is a bitch.
True, that is true.
If he's a big and brawny dude, he is not a bitch.
Right.
He has hair on his chest and he will kick your ass.
Beat your ass. So
I do like that aspect of Jor-El. All jokes aside, is that they set it up so that essentially everyone is born to do their job. Right? He was born to be a scientist, but he made the conscious decision to learn to fight. So inevitably, when he does start beating ass, they're all caught off guard because they don't expect a scientist to fight them. They're raised to be the warrior.
That's a very good way of looking at it. Yeah. They launched the ship. Zod stabs Jor-El, and then Zod's gang gets arrested, and
put in the penis ships.
In the what?
They get put in the penis ships.
Yeah, I was just about to say they get encased in penis rockets and sent to the Phantom Zone. Although I think it is kind of weird that when they send them to the Phantom Zone, they put them in a ship. Like they're already encased, and then they put them in another ship, then put them in the Phantom Zone. I thought it was kind of weird that they did that. But
I think it's kind of weird that they did this in Superman 2. They put him in the Phantom Zone, and then Krypton explodes, right?
Right.
But at least in Superman 2, the Donner Superman 2, Krypton doesn't explode 2 minutes after that happens. I was like, man, why didn't you just load up everyone into the Phantom Zone?
Well, that's what that's what Jor-El wanted to do, and they was like, nah, because he wanted to load one in. Well, actually, he wanted to load the Codex in, and because he was like, everybody else is dead, like we're done with this, but like let's send the Codex, and they were like, nah. So he does a thing, which is basically he infuses the Codex into the sun, and then sends them off, and then we're about to see the ship crash to Earth, and then we get a hard cut to an episode of The Deadliest Catch where Doc Clark is working as a fisherman. Yeah, then we cut to one of my favorite scenes in the movie where you get young Clark who's freaking out at school because his powers is activated and he doesn't know how to react. That is great. And then he runs to the closet, and then Martha Kent, Diane Lane comes in and helps him out.
Sweetie, how can I help you if you won't let me in?
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small. Just focus on my voice. Pretend it's an island out in the ocean. Can you see it?
That stuff, like those scenes, I love. Really good shit.
Oh yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more, in fact.
Yeah, and Diane Lane, I would say she's really good as Martha, at least in this film. I do enjoy her. I do like they do bring a certain realism to her. I she's not just your goody. Like, she's a kind woman, but I can also see there's a bit of a gruffness to her. Some of the roles, but I kind of like that. Brought to
she is a woman who lives on a farm and is married to a farmer.
I like the middle America aspect of it, but it doesn't seem like a middle America from the past. It does seem like a current day middle America type of vibe, which I do like that.
Right.
As another way to bring Superman into the more modern era, if you will.
Right.
So we flash back to another great scene where Clark is a kid and he saves the kids on the bus. Love this scene.
I do love this scene, but I think a lot of people have a problem with the scene that follows.
Then we get to when I really start disliking this film. We get to Jonathan Kent, played by Kevin Costner, which brilliant casting, by the way, I will say.
Sure, yeah.
Like, when they was like Kevin Costner's Jonathan Kent, I was like, that is fucking you cannot fuck that up. He is like the most American actor you can really think of. Outside of
most normal. Mel Gibson's not even American; he's Australian.
That was his whole thing back before, he went off.
That's fair.
But anyway, Kevin Costner, dope. And then we get this scene where Jonathan Kent suggests to Clark that he probably should have let the bus full of kids just stay at the bottom of the river.
I just wanted to help.
I know you did, but we talked about this. Right? Right? We talked about this. Clark, you have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Maybe. There's more at stake here than just our lives, Clark, or the lives of those around us.
I don't hate that scene.
I fucking hate this.
But I don't hate it for a very specific reason. If Jonathan Kent was written as genuinely being like, yeah, you should have let those kids die, then yeah, that's just a bad scene. Like, that's out of character. Yeah. But within the movie, he is Clark's dad.
Yeah.
He cares about this kid. He loves this kid. And he doesn't want anyone to take him away or anyone to try and hurt him, or Martha Kent for that matter. He doesn't want any danger to come to them, so he doesn't want Clark to draw the attention to him.
Yeah.
So while he's like, I acknowledge that you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't the right thing for you.
Yeah. He does say. I will say he does say.
I guess
maybe. Which
he's like.
I don't think that's not what Jonathan Kent should be saying. Jonathan shouldn't be like, because so maybe he lets the kids die, and he's the one kid that survives. So Clark has to live the rest of his life knowing he let his fucking classmates die. That's what we're cool with that. And then Clark is all and deadly because he's like, I didn't save my friends and my father told me not to do it.
He becomes the kid from Brightburn at that point.
Shit, yeah, you got a point. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you're right. He does. He becomes.
But no, I think the way it's written is mostly just to, I guess, humanize the Kents in general. Is that he doesn't know the right answer.
True.
He's like, I don't have these powers. I can't tell you what you can and can't do with them. But I know that if someone caught you doing that, they're going to take you away from us, and I don't want that. So.
Yes. Jonathan Kent is a selfish asshole.
Right. Like every parent. True. Hey, you know what? True. Every good parent.
It's realistic.
Good parent, I guess.
It's realistic. So.
Yeah.
After that.
That's what real people would.
That's what real people do. Fuck them kids. Is my kid safe? So we're introduced to Daily Planet reporter Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams, who I think she's pretty good in this film. I think she kind of gets a little lost in the shuffle later on. But once again, really good casting choice.
Yeah. She's great in this film.
Yeah.
Genuinely. I think she's a great Lois Lane in this film, and I don't think they give her anything else ever again.
Yeah, about it. This is
They're
the
just,
high point of her.
they're just like, well, you signed that contract. You got to come back. We didn't write a scene for you.
We didn't write
Throw that in the water,
Yeah.
and then you can go get it.
We didn't write shit for you, but to just ogle Superman.
Yeah.
That's about pretty much all she does. Yeah, and she's on assignment because there's a mysterious anomaly bird in the ice up in the so I guess it's like in Canada or whatever. We get a little moment where Ghost Dad appears, who is
Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad is dope. I like. It's kind of funny for some reason. I like Russell Crowe's performance as the AI more than I like it as Jor-El. I don't know why AI Jor-El seems more like personable and more like fun than the actual Jor-El. I don't know. He just programmed emotions. I don't fucking know, but he does have fun as this.
He's playful.
Yeah, he's a little playful. So Lois takes a photo of this drone that attacks her and destroys her fabulous Nikon camera. And
I know.
Yeah, fabulous. It destroys that beautiful camera, and then Clark saves her, and then they leave. He leaves the site in the spaceship. So let's just get into it. One of the problems that people have with this film, and it's a bit ridiculous, is the crazy product placement throughout this film.
I don't know what you're talking about, bud. I mean, I have no clue what you mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, would you like to go to IHOP?
I wouldn't mind some IHOP. That sounds great. Also,
How about we go buy some stuff down from Sears?
Yeah, I think these Sears department store is fantastic. I can go to
Everything,
7-Eleven,
every place is good having a
Budweiser.
Oh,
And then we can
I could go for a nice cold Budweiser.
Cold Budweiser, and then we can also probably ship some stuff through U-Haul.
Oh, U-Haul.
U-Haul. Yeah, you can.
This is not an ad, by the way.
Yeah, not an ad. You can tell Warner Brothers they did not want to put too much money into this, and then this leads us to one of my second favorite scene in this movie, where he gets the suit and he walks through the door and he flies for the first time. He likes jumping, and then
he leaps and bounds.
Yeah, leaps and bounds. Nice nod to the OG Superman, and then he gets on the ground and you see the wind pick up and he just launches.
And he picks up a weird green car and he's about to smash some guy against a mountain.
Yeah, all that great shit. Classic. He knows the comics.
Classic. Snyder, I tell you what, he knows exactly how to take a panel and just put it on the screen and say he made it.
He does. He really does. He's the best at it. Like that's
I hate watching.
I like that movie a lot, but so I really love the scene, but the cinematography on this is trash to a degree, where the thing keeps zooming in. He does this throughout the movie, where it's like something's out of focus, and then it'll zoom in, and it's still out of focus.
They jump cuts.
Yeah, those weird zoom in,
Yeah.
zoom out jump cuts. It takes me out of the film, and I fucking hate it. And
you're seeing the moment from you're seeing the moment from a Kryptonian attention span. Like, I see. Okay, I don't care anymore.
I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. With
Sure.
The Kryptonian perspective.
But yeah, how do you feel about the costume? Because that's
I'm
big
glad
point of
you
contention
bring that
for
up.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. So the costume. I remember when that first pic dropped, and he was in the bank photos.
Hold the satellite.
Yeah. No. He was in the. He got.
That's sorry. That's right.
That was the first photo that was released, and I was like, I can't see much of the suit. I can tell he's a man with good size. I love the cape. It's too dark. And
Right.
That's essentially how I feel about the suit. I think the suit is fine. The cape is great. I think that's my favorite part is the cape and the boots. The color of the cape and the boots I like. The main blue is too dark. It's kind of the opposite of how I feel about the Brandon Routh suit, where the blue was bright and the red was dark. This one, the red is the right color, but the blue is a little too dark for me.
Right.
And I'm a purist. I miss the
You like
trunks.
candy?
Yes. Superman needs the trunks because visually it breaks up all the blue. It just aesthetically looks better. I don't care if you're like, oh, it's old. I don't care. It looks better. in my opinion. It looks 100 times better than the all blue. But
that's fair.
What are your feelings? Wait, okay. One other thing, I like the chainmail aspect of it too. I do like that. But continue.
I don't like or hate it. I'm indifferent to it because I like Superman's costume and I like a lot of the different iterations of Superman's costume.
Right.
In fact, I would say the only version that I've seen so far in the last 12 years that I didn't ever like was the New 52 version with the collar. I don't like the collar on Superman. Or like the... Yeah. This was right. Yeah. Right. It didn't make sense. That's the only one I've never liked until 2 movies from this one. Yeah. I like this one a lot, comparatively, because I think it only gets worse as it goes on.
Okay. I get where you're going.
Because you're fighting color grading in the next movie, because it's the same suit for the most part in the next movie, but it's
a little bit different.
Right, the belt's a little bit different, but it more or less is the same overall design.
Yeah.
But it's practically a black suit, which is fine. He's worn the black suit before. I don't hate the black suit.
Yeah.
But it only gets worse as the movies go on, and I don't know what the hell they did with that Justice League one. We'll get to that when we get to Justice League.
But yeah, I
right.
know where you're coming from.
I do not get what was going on with that one at all.
Right. So yeah, indifferent. I'm okay with it. I didn't care for it, of course, when the movie first came out, but I still like I said, I do like the boots. I like the cape. Although I think it's a little too long, but that's just nitpicking there. And I miss the trunks. The S is cool. I like his hair more in the next movie because it's a little more slick back with the curl as opposed to kind of just out with whatever.
I like his hair more in this movie. I don't think the slick back looks that great on Cavill. Not to say, I mean, look at me. I shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion on a man who looks like that, just in general.
Continue. Lois does some investigating and tracks down Clark to Smallville. And
whoa.
Insane. And we get this sequence where we have Cavill who's playing. I think he's supposed to be a teenage Clark, but it's Cavill. So it's a grown-ass man who's acting like a teenager. I think this scene would have probably worked better if it was a teenager, but I get why it's Cavill because they want the emotional beat to hit with the main actor, give him a chance to do some acting. And he has a flashback talking about his dad. And this is where I stuck to really turning on the film. Clark's in the car being a dick towards his dad, talking about, you're not my dad. I don't got to listen to what you got to say, old man, type shit like that. And then tornado pops up.
I said it's very much so the car scene between Peter and Uncle Ben from Spider-Man 1.
You're right. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
You're not my dad. Stop acting like my dad. Now go die off screen.
Yeah. You're right. It is. It is very similar to that. See, Zack Snyder knows what he's doing.
He's seen it.
He's watched these movies. He knows what he's doing. He gets a lot of hate, but he knows what he's doing to a degree. He's got a plan.
Yeah. He's not a total. He's not. Yeah.
So tornadoes coming, and everyone, Jonathan goes into hero mode, and he's telling everybody to get under the pass. He saves a baby because he's a heroic guy too, even though he's a human. He's a brave man. And Martha shouts out, "We forgot Hank."
Right.
And
he ain't no bit.
Jonathan's like, "Oh shit, we forgot Hank. So let me run back to the car and go save Hank." That fantastic character from the mythos of Superman. We all know Hank from issue.
All know and love him.
Yeah, from issue 240 of Superman. So he goes back, he gets into the car, he gets pinned down, but he opens the door, the dog runs out, which we all know when natural events are happening, dogs are the first things to get the fuck out of Dodge. But apparently this dog was dumb enough to not do that when Martha opened the door in the back door of the car, but I digress. Legs gets crushed. He's limping out. Clark wants to go save him. And then we get that moment where Jonathan's like, nah, don't do that. Don't expose yourself, son. Okay.
Let me die.
Let me die. Obey my wishes and just let me die. And then
like, just let me die. The farm is going under.
Yes. And he just
I've been embezzling for years.
yeah, he just gets taken away by the goddamn tornado. I fucking hate this goddamn scene. Years ago, when I first saw the movie, I would get mad as fuck watching this scene. I recently watched this movie, and all I could do was laugh because it's so ridiculous. It's
absurd.
It does not work for me. I know there's some people who like it. I get it. Clark's obeying his dad's wishes because his dad doesn't want him to expose himself. Maybe I'm just a bad son because I would just save my dad. I can actually do that.
Sure.
The town, as we know at this point, or it's subtly hinted, the town knows Clark has powers.
Sure.
Save your fucking dad. You're not fooling anybody. Okay.
Yeah, they've all figured it out. And well, the worst part is, it could have been avoided had Clark just gone and saved Hank.
Clark could have went over there. And
Clark could have done it.
Clark literally could have just walked over there. He didn't have to run. Just kind of jog a little bit. Go because his foot wouldn't have got crushed. Pick up the dog.
Right.
Just jog back. Bam.
He could have picked the whole truck up.
He didn't even have to do all. I'm just saying he didn't even have to do all of that. He
Yeah.
ripped the door off. They wouldn't have known because it's a tornado. The wind caught it.
Right. No one's paying attention to him.
Thank you.
There's a fucking tornado. They're not looking at the guy who ran out to save their dog.
Exactly. And you want to know what makes this scene even worse? In my opinion,
is that they're under an overpass and they're not supposed to do that in a tornado?
I didn't even know that, but that's a good point. No.
Because it'll fall.
Literally, the next scene is Clark coming back to the farm. Martha has a dog. It's not fucking Hank. It's not fucking Hank.
Yeah.
So what is the emotional through line of him saving this dog, which immediately next scene, oh yeah, that dog died anyway.
Yeah, it's to show that Jonathan
is a dumbass.
Despite not having, is a dumbass, but a dumb hero. That's it.
That's fantastic. That's great.
He's got to have his Uncle Ben moment.
Yes, and that's why the heart attack makes way more sense.
Right.
Why that Jonathan, if he does die, because sometimes he doesn't. I know in the John Byrne run, they kept him alive forever. But usually, if he dies, it's a heart attack to show Clark that he can't save everyone. Certain things he can't control. A fucking tornado he can control. So, to me personally, I don't like Jonathan, and B, I'm kind of looking at Superman sideways because he's a half-ass superhero.
And I'm looking at Snyder for the hack writer that he is.
Him and Goyer and Nolan can get this work too. So, fuck that scene. And this is the moment when I really just, my enjoyment of the film dips a little. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, then the military is introduced. We're introduced to General Swanwick, played by Harry Lennox. Due to convenience, or it was this all along. He's also Martian Manhunter. We'll get into that later.
Maybe.
Yeah. And we get the scene where they discover that there's this alien ship that's outside of Earth's atmosphere, and then it starts to send this message to the planet, which this is my favorite scene in this entire film. I love this scene. It's fucking awesome. I don't know why, but it's just the eeriness of it. It's like the power goes out, and then the TV screens and the phones, and it's this weird message. You're not alone.
Oh yeah.
and it's all this distortedness, and then you get that distorted image of Zod, and he's like, hey, we're looking for this guy. He's been hiding on your planet. Release him to our custody. You got 24 hours, and it's like all the different languages throughout the world. It's awesome. I don't know why,
right?
But it's awesome. I just love it.
It's done well.
Yeah, it is. I like the little horror aspect of it to a degree as well. It's just a great scene,
To Kal-El, I say this. Surrender within 24 hours.
Wow.
Or watch this world suffer the consequences.
Then we get another scene that I don't like because it just bugs me. Clark just goes to this random priest and asks him what he should do.
Yeah.
Instead of talking to his ghost dad, who actually knows who Zod is and already told him that Zod's not good. But fuck.
Right. I guess that's one of my biggest pet peeves in general with Snyder films, and I guess to a degree, Goyer's writing and Snyder's, whatever he adds to it when he does that, it's the allegory.
The Jesus allegory, yeah.
The Jesus allegory, and I don't have a fucking problem with religion or doing an allegory of Jesus. I mean, Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe is it's the whole allegory for that.
Yeah.
But it's not subtle.
No, God, no.
At all.
At all.
It is ham-fisted. For fuck's sake, he fucking cross poses
for no reason.
Yep. Well, I'm soaking up the sun.
Yeah, they do that in like most major superhero movies. Does it? Spider-Man's done this.
Sure.
Iron Man. I'm pretty sure Batman's done it in some of his films. Like it's a trope that's done.
Sure, but those movies didn't go out of their way to be like, you are basically a god. You are Jesus incarnate.
Right. They literally didn't go out of their way to have Superman sitting there with a picture of Jesus on the back of the wall being like, that's me.
You're me.
Which is what this movie does. And I think it would have made more sense if there was a flashback. We had so many goddamn flashbacks. Maybe there was a scene where John and Martha are like having a religious crisis because they just found this alien and they're talking to this priest and they're kind of guiding them through this. And then years later, Clark goes talk to that same priest, have an emotional connection. It's just some random dude. Just some random dude. Clark needs to know this guy. I gotta, and he reveals to himself, I'm the dude they're looking for, and I don't know if I should trust him. I don't know if I should trust him. He's just like, follow your heart, I guess. I don't fucking know. You're an alien.
You're really throwing a wrench into like all of my beliefs, dude.
Exactly. You're just blowing my mind, dude. I didn't care for that. And when he does the Jesus pose out of the ship, it's kind of like.
It's just the religious allegory and symbolism in general and imagery.
Yeah.
It's extremely ham-fisted, and at least two of these three films, because I'm guessing a lot of that got cut out when they did the reshoots for Justice League.
Resurrection.
Which means fuck.
Oh, I got heat for that in the next one, but anyway. And yes, Superman is a Christ-like figure, but it's
he's a Hercules figure.
Yeah, he's Christ, he's Moses, he's Hercules, he's all of that. But it's like
he's one
better. You can handle that better,
Yeah.
Donner did the whole speech with Brandon with Marlon Brando as Jor-El. It's like God sending His Son to Earth. Like okay, that's a great moment. It's not as ham-fisted as just literal Jesus in the background by Superman.
Here's Jesus.
Yeah.
Here's Superman.
Yeah. Do you get it?
Yeah. This is new Jesus. Worship him.
Yeah, basically. They hand him over to Zod, and then we get this. Zod wants Lois on the ship for some reason. It's it is explained. It's kind of gets lost in the shuffle why she's on the ship. But anyway, they take her on the ship, and we find out the team is free through the explosion of the planet, and they've been searching, collecting gear. That's how they get the mech suits, and they get the what's it called? The world engine, which is used to terraform planets.
Yeah.
And you know, Superman accidentally set off a distress signal, which leads them to Earth, which I like that. Like Superman unknowingly causes his enemies to be able to track him down. You know, Lois is thrown in a room. She gets the device. She activates Ghost Dad. He takes over the ship, and Ghost Dad helps her escape. But then he also, off-screen, mentions he's going to teach her how to activate the Phantom Drive thing, which will be important later.
Yes.
The way the movie is edited is just literally she activates him, he gets off the ship. At some point in that, he explained quantum physics to her. So, I don't know.
She's smart. She picked it up real quick.
She got it. She got it. So, we have the moment where Zod is, you know, again, it's explaining everything. And then he turns on him, and he's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to destroy Earth. You might not like it, but that's what I'm doing. And for some reason... And for some reason, he traps him in a room full of skulls, which is the best way to convince someone to join your side.
Right.
That didn't make sense to me.
I mean, it would persuade me.
Would it?
Yeah, I mean, I love skulls, dude. If you could give me like a couple million of them, I would be fucking stoked.
The fear tactic that'll work for you?
No, I'm not scared of them.
Oh.
I want them. I want the skulls.
We hadn't talked about it to this point, but what do you think of Michael Shannon as Zod?
I like him a lot, actually. I love his haircut. I love a guy who does his own hair. He looks fantastic. Goatee, nice touch, very 90s.
I like it.
Yeah, he's fun. He's I think Michael Shannon maybe is the best character or the best actor for that role because
he's really good. I like.
He's a crazy person.
He is.
He's an insane human being.
Yeah, he has a crazy look. It works. There's numerous moments where he's just bugging his big eyes, and it just works. He's just I will find him.
Find him.
Yeah. It works. It works. I think it's a solid villain performance. You know, he's dedicated to bringing the Kryptonians back because that's what he was genetically created for.
Who plays Feora? I think that's her name.
I didn't write her name, but she is the MVP. She's like the subtle MVP of this film. She's awesome.
Yeah,
for later, but let's just talk about it now. Feora is dope in this film.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
I wish they hadn't killed her. I wish she would have had more screen time.
Well, they don't ever show her die on screen. She goes into the Phantom Zone, but they didn't say that she's dead.
She's in the black hole thing. I'm assuming they're all dead.
I thought that was the Phantom Zone.
Well, it was the Phantom Zone combining with theirs, and it made a black hole and sucked everyone in. If they want to undo
they can still bring him back. They can still bring him back. Yeah. If they were like, well, you know, we kind of wasted Christopher Maloney. Let's bring him back.
Did they waste him? I thought he was serviceable.
I like Christopher Maloney.
I like him too, but I don't necessarily like or dislike him in this movie.
That's fair.
General SVU, as I like to call him.
Yes.
He's kind of shitty to Lois, and then he's cool with Lois. You know, he's fine.
He's got a bit of a like a love-hate relationship going on with Feora in a weird way.
In a weird way, yeah. So Jor-El steals the Codex, and he infuses it into Clark, so that he, or maybe someone else down the line, can use it to create a new Krypton, potentially on Earth or on another planet. So, 33 years later, Zod wants to do the exact same thing that Jor-El wanted to do, but now it's a problem.
Right. Yeah.
That I don't like the hypocriticalness of that.
Well, he's a villain, so of course it's got to be a little hypocritical. But he saw the air.
No. I'm talking about Jor-El, the hypocriticalness of Jor-El.
Oh, gotcha.
Jor-El planned this.
The genetic template for every being yet to be born is encoded in the Registry of Citizens. Your father stole the registry's codex and stored it in the capsule that brought you here.
For what purpose?
So that Krypton can live again. On Earth.
This is hypocritical on Jor-El, because he just would have destroyed the codex we wouldn't have this problem. You see what I'm saying?
That's fair, yeah.
So he steals the codex and gives it to Clark so he can make the decision, which he, I guess, hoped that he would bring back Krypton. But yet when Zod wants to do it, it's a problem.
Right. Well, Zod's a big old nasty doofus jock, all right?
Okay.
And, you know, dumb old nerd Jor-El doesn't want a jock to make the decisions anymore.
I guess. I think that's a bit shitty.
What? You think that's too simple?
Yeah, it's a little simple. For everything to be so grounded that they didn't really hammer home that, you know what, Jor-El's kind of a dick. But anyway, so they escape the ship. Yeah, they escape the ship, and then we get to this. This is, I think, where the movie really changes. Because up to this point, the movie is kind of slow, and then it has a split where it's just straight action. So yeah, you know, so Lois and Clark, they safely make it back to Earth, and she explains the reason they put her on the ship is because they put her in the machine. We don't see this as off screen, and they read her mind, and she kind of might have known what the codex was, what she kind of did. So the aliens go. This is another point. The aliens go to Smallville. They go to Martha Kent's farm, and they wreck this shit looking for the codex. Superman comes in, stops them. They have a fight downtown Metropolis. And like I said, Fiora's dope. There's some great fight sequences with her and Clark. And of course, she kicks the military's ass, but they eventually stop her with some missiles. And there's a lot of military propaganda in this film, even more so than all of the Captain America movies combined.
Sure.
This movie really wants you to go America fuck yeah. You can take it or leave it. I don't necessarily need it.
Just truth, justice, and the American way.
True, but it's kind of weird when you get the moments with the soldiers. Clearly, even with Maloney, like we've already proven that the guns aren't going to work, but he's going to fight to the bitter end.
Right.
Nah, I didn't need all that. But I do like him saving the soldiers. That stuff is cool.
Right.
So once again, and here's another important tip. I'm making this known. Lois goes back to the Kent farm, right? To let Clark know that she knows how to solve the thing. She goes back to the Kent farm with police assistance. A police officer brought her to the house, which was already signaled out by these aliens, and have caused damage on this one farm. All right, I'm just pointing this out.
Right. I'm following.
Okay. So, you know, Zod finds out, you know, the codex is in Clark, so he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna kill Clark and take the codex out of him. And they unleash the world engine, which one, you know, heads to the Indian Ocean and the other heads to Metropolis, and they start to terraform Earth into Krypton, causing mass destruction, and the city is getting fucked up. We also get the little name drop, how Superman got his name, but it's just like, oh, the soldiers, they said Superman's coming in, and the guy's like, Superman. He's like, that's what they call him. I kind of like that. I like that's how he got his name.
Sure.
Ghost Dad, you know, taught her the information. So she's what?
I was just thinking. I was like, no, it's the human super.
The human super.
Yeah, whatever, Superman.
Whatever.
No, I'm not going out. They got my name wrong.
I'm the human super.
I'm not saving the day. They got my name wrong.
Oh man. So yeah, he flies to the ship, and of course it's got these tentacles pop out, and they attack him. You know, liquid metal CGI mess that happens where he's fighting that.
Lots of zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in.
Zoom out. You know the vibes. You know the motherfucking vibes. So you know, everyone's in the building. Buildings are falling back in Metropolis. Perry and Lombard save Jenny Olsen because we couldn't have Jimmy for some reason. Oh wait, no, we had to save Jimmy for the next movie.
Yeah.
So,
Was that Jenny? Was that her name?
Jenny Olsen.
I completely blinked on that.
Yeah. That was
Didn't click.
Jenny Olsen.
Okay.
She was the replacement for Jimmy, or
all right.
thought. we get the whole sequence where they fix the ship. And what is it? Superman comes back and he pushes. Now this is where I really start to dislike this version. The Superman sucks. I'm just gonna say it. He sucks. Which some people might find that endearing. I find it annoying as fuck. But this Superman sucks. He flies in. He destroys Zod's ship. He destroys it by pushing it into more buildings before he crashes it.
Yeah, right. He destroys it by killing thousands.
Yes. Like
to quote Snyder, when asked by Kevin Smith, how many people does he think died during this? No less than 5,000 people died in Metropolis, which is small potatoes, I guess, when an entire city is leveled and only 5,000 people die. But still, 5,000 people died because he's literally knocking buildings down.
Yeah, because he's just not good at his job. And some people say, "Well, this is his first time doing it. What do you expect?" I expect him to be fucking Superman. Is what I expect.
Yeah.
So they do the thing. Fayora pulls up on the ship. They activate the black hole. Lois falls out, and it's a black hole.
Right.
All these heavy-ass objects are being lifted, but conveniently, Lois is the one object that's falling down. Superman saves her.
She's very dense.
She's very dense. And Superman saves her, and they land on the ground, and they proceed to make out surrounded by hundreds of thousands of dead bodies.
Yeah.
That's what you do. And that's another thing. The humor in this film is not good. Because there's a moment where she says, I think she says, like, after this, it's all downhill after the first kiss. And then I think Clark says, well, that only happens with humans or some shit. And I'm like, is this really what we want to do the quip? Like, if you're going to do a quip, make it good. But we're literally surrounded by all these devastated bodies. Like, not good. And some people will probably say, well, it can't be that fucking kiddie bullshit like the MCU movies. Everything can't be funny. But levity works. Batman Begins has it. Nolan's films, the Tim Burton films has it. It works. The humor in this is not good.
It doesn't land.
No, it does not.
It feels inappropriate.
Right. At least in that scene. Some of the humor is unintentionally funny. Like I said, the whole Jonathan Kent died bullshit. So, Zod is devastated. His that was the last remains of Krypton, has been destroyed. So he takes out his anger on Kal-El, and they fuck up Metropolis even further. And this is another big contentious problem with this film is the devastation.
I think this is the biggest backlash that the movie got. Was just the absolute carnage and destruction of Metropolis.
Yeah. And continue. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, to the point where the two of them go up into space, destroy a satellite, and then could land anywhere else. Still land smack dab in that city.
Immediately land right back in the city. Where some people say that Zod controlled it, but it's like Superman could have pushed them anywhere else.
How well is Zod controlling that?
Well, apparently, he's trained all his life, and now he controls his powers fully, because we need this fight to not be one-sided.
Yeah. Right.
So, and I can deal with Zod wrecking the city, like that stuff I'm fine with. It's the fact that there are moments where Superman purposely wrecks the city or does nothing to not wreck the city.
Right.
Specifically that sequence where Zod kicks the oil tanker, and Superman, instead of stopping it, just hops over it and let the whole fucking parking deck blow up. Like, Fuck out of here.
Oh, Jesus.
I fucking hate it. So, but a moment I do like is when Superman's floating and Grodd, like, gorilla pounces up the building and then they punch and causes the shockwave. I do like that. I'll allow that.
Sure.
I think this movie does it a little too much. Some of it I like, and then other parts it's like, okay, you didn't have to go that far.
Well, I think the action is done very well in this movie. I do think they do a very good job of making you feel like these stronger than life people are stronger than life. They're going through buildings and then just getting back up like it's nothing.
Yes, he does bring that.
He sells the impact of the punch.
Yeah, that's the grounded aspect to the fantastical side.
Right.
And when that happens, it makes me not like Superman, because it's like I feel more like Lex Luthor. Like, yeah, this guy's a fucking problem. Which I don't want to feel like that watching Superman. But maybe that's what makes it. Maybe that's what makes it so real. You know.
Yeah, I don't ever in my life want to idealize with
Superman.
No, Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, I never want to be on the same playing field as Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh Jesus.
I never want to be on the same team as that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. They head back to Earth, like you said, and they crash land in this train station. And we all know that this version of Superman is very concerned with the preservation of life, so he stops by snapping his neck.
Right.
And has a has a big emotional reaction, which just does not work for me. But yeah, it's like I probably would buy it more if I didn't see you actively fuck up this entire city.
Right.
Or downtown.
Now,
downtown small.
I have the neck snap in both my pros and cons because I like it and I hate it. I like it and I hate it. So, for pros, it is a powerful character moment that forces Clark to do something that he would not normally do. That he hasn't done up to that point, which is kill. And even though it was to save others, it goes against every moral fiber of his being to have done it. And it eats him up inside. It shows that he is remorseful for having to kill someone in what I guess he would consider cold blood. Maybe the movie doesn't really set him up as a character who sees all life as worth preserving, but he still takes it extremely hard. And I consider that a pro just because it's like, oh, it's a good character moment. Where it's a con, because the build up to it was Superman participating in the full-on destruction of Metropolis and, again, indirect of 5,000 people, not to mention there are other options in this scenario that people could have just moved. He could have used his speed to go and get them out of the way.
Turn his head up, let's fly him out of the building.
Right.
Use fucking freeze breath to distract him, and then turn his head up and fly him out of the building.
I was like, I don't mind the death of Zod, but Clark's remorse for his actions don't line up with his previous actions very well.
Amen. Yeah, I was, once again, I hated this sequence. Because I wanted to see this movie, but when I heard this, I was like, wait, what happened? And then when I finally saw it, I was mad. And once again, it's just like the Jonathan Kent thing. When I watch the scene now, I don't laugh at it, but I just shake my head, shrug my shoulders, and say, well, that's that version of Superman. The neck snap was my biggest problem. But actually, my biggest problem now is the ending of this movie. Because I feel like this movie should have ended with him, snapping the neck, and then either Lois running up to him and holding him, and then it have him like flying into the stratosphere. Some time has passed, and he overhears some people debating about his actions and all of this. Him absorbing the comments, and then he reacts to an alarm going off, flying towards the situation, and end it like that. That's the ending. But
that way when we come into the next film, it's believable that people like him, despite the fact that he destroyed an entire city.
It's either believable or that conversation is at least being acknowledged immediately after this,
right?
As we know it would be.
Right.
So instead, we get the ending of this movie. Then we get this sequence where Clark, I think he's with his mom, and there's a flashback of a young Clark running around in a cape with his hands on his hips. Who the fuck is he imitating?
That's a good point.
When you think about it, it's like, who is he imitating?
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, so Sal. Yeah, exactly. Sal from Comic Pop mentioned this. I remember he mentioned this a while back in one of his videos. He's right. It's like, who is he imitating? Why is he running around with a cape on his back? Because that's what Superman does.
It's legit. He's mimicking Wonder Woman. That scene took place in 1987.
Oh, okay. Let's go with that. But yeah, it's a good point because it's like, okay, he's acknowledging Superman, but he's not Superman. At least in Smallville, you know, they had that character. I think it was called the Guardian Angel or something, which was the inspiration for Superman to actually wear a suit and wear a cape. Like that's what he was mimicking. And this, we don't know what this is. It's just there because, oh, that's what Superman does. But he's not Superman, so why does this exist? So,
I'll say that the history of Nightwing and Flamebird is embedded in his genetics.
There you go. It's embedded in his genetics. Goddamn, you're right. It was the codex. It was the codex. He was having.
Oh shit!
He was having visions of ancient Krypton. Fuck. I solved.
That answers it.
That answers it. Goddamn. Okay.
You and I just came up with the best solution for that question that people have been asking.
We just fixed Man of Steel. So anyway, this is where it really pisses me off.
That was a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. This is where it really pisses me off. We go back to Metropolis, and it's been what, a day, a month, who knows? The movie doesn't tell us, but things seem to be normal. You know, even though a huge portion of the city was just fucking leveled to the ground.
Right.
People are smiling. People are getting, you know, at work, just working at the Daily Planet. This asshole Lombard has tickets to a basketball game. He's trying to ask out Lois, and Lois is like, "I'm not going to the basketball game with you, Lombard." And,
I'm not going with you.
And I'm like, who the fuck is going to a basketball game? Isn't the stadium being used to shelter people whose fucking homes were destroyed? Or are we not acknowledging what just happened? You get what I'm saying?
No.
People,
I understand.
People just have fucking tickets to basketball games after the fucking nukes just went off downtown.
Look, this shit happens all the time. Even before Superman, they have quick turnaround on things like this. 5,000 people, that's nothing.
I guess.
You should have Thursday last week.
Shit, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, right.
And that was just when they opened up the new Taco Bell.
Yeah, I don't make no goddamn sense. So, and then also at some point, the drifting bum known as Clark Kent got a college degree in journalism and has just landed a job at the Daily Planet. We never once had an inkling that he gave a fuck about journalism. He's just literally like, well, I'm going to take a job so I can be somewhere where I can investigate and people don't question it. I'll be a reporter. And then he runs into, he runs into Lois. Lois already knows that it's him. And she plays it off. And then he just smiles at her, and that's the end of the movie. And my problem with this is the movie just spent literally 2 hours establishing that this version of Superman doesn't have an identity. His identity is not that secret. It's very easy to figure out that this version of Superman is Clark Kent. So why does this movie wants to have it both ways, where it's like people know, but then we can do the classic George Reeves stuff.
I guarantee that was Warner Brothers.
I got a feeling, that might have been some studio.
I guarantee that's studio being like, well, you have to have Clark Kent work at the Daily Planet. Like you have to.
You have to. Which
he's got to wear the glasses. He's got to have a secret identity because that's such a big part of his character.
I agree. You should do it. But this movie has already
brand recognition.
Right. This movie has already spent 2 hours establishing why that's not necessary. Lois knows he's Superman. The fucking military knows he's Superman. Down the tri-state area of Kansas knows he's Superman. It's not that hard to figure out that he's Superman. Once again,
Harry probably knows.
Once again, it's not that hard to figure out that he's. It's not that hard to figure out that he's Superman.
Oh, who?
Let me say that again. It's not that hard to figure out that Clark Kent is Superman in this movie.
Clark Kent.
So for this film to be so grounded and realistic, it should have kept that tone all the way through. Is just what I'm saying. You know, it wants it both ways. That's the new thing that pisses me off about this movie. We literally just had this city fucking destroyed, but we got to end on a high note. So he's at the Daily Planet.
You gotta end with hope. That's Superman's whole thing, right? That's what the S stands for, bud. You gotta have hope.
Yeah, but the tone shift, like the way I described it, could have ended. I think it's still
sure,
but it still keeps that groundedness. This
I think
something different. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Like I said, it feels like studio interference. They probably did have some sort of scene, like what you were saying, written out, and maybe studio was like, well, that's too ambiguous for audiences. They're stupid. They won't figure it out. Or like we have to have the secret identity. You have to have Clark Kent. That's brand recognition. Brand recognition. We have this very successful IP. You have to do this.
True, but if you have
Like, these
to
are
do it,
staples of the character.
like I said, if you have to do it, don't spend 2 hours of the movie giving us a good reason why you don't have to do it. Because it's different. If you're going to be different, stick there.
No, I agree. I agree, but I'm going to say that based on everything that has come of the Snyderverse and all these DC films, Warner Brothers doesn't know jack shit about anything.
Facts. That is
So
still clear to this fucking day, 2021.
They'll let you make 95% of a movie, and then they'll be like, oh well, we just want this 5% to be something of ours, and then they'll be like, well, you know what? Well, we changed that. Let's just refilm the whole thing. Get a different director, recast a couple people, fire this person.
Yeah. And then we'll cobble it together and hopefully we'll make $1 billion, right? Right?
Right. Right. Remember when Aquaman made $1 billion?
Yeah, because they left that movie the fuck alone. And James Wan was very creative and he just hit.
Yeah.
He just hit.
Yeah.
He got lucky.
I guarantee they will not give him that much freedom for 2.
Hell
no. No.
And, he's had to dodge some, Amber Heard shit. But anyway. And, the interesting thing I will say about this movie that I find interesting, there are a lot of people who I've talked to who are not Superman fans. They're like, I don't like Superman. I don't get it. But for some reason, this movie, they're like, I do like this interpretation of Superman. And then there are people who are hardcore Superman fans who are like, they either like, they like it or they don't like it. But I find it interesting that Zack Snyder was able to, I don't know, tap into a segment of the population that don't like Superman. And by changing him from the I guess the more idealized version of Superman, we're able to interest some people. I think that's kind of interesting how that happened,
Well, the thing that I know most people say about Superman when they go, I don't like Superman, is that he's overpowered, he's too good, he's a Boy Scout, he's boring.
Yeah.
He's a boring, big blue.
Equal boring. Yeah. Some people equate that as boring.
Sure, but I'm saying that's generally the arguments people have for him is that he's too good. He's got too many powers. He always wins. How could you ever write a villain that could beat Superman?
It's tough. It can be done, but it is tough. I will acknowledge it is tough.
It can be done. It has been done multiple times. So I think this movie appeals to your general audience who either don't care about Superman's origin or they like big budget action flicks.
Yeah.
This is a big budget action flick.
It is.
With a little bit more nuance, not a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel like you're smarter than you are. It does.
I think that's the perfect way to describe. No shade. I think that's the perfect way to describe all of Zack Snyder's movies.
I think it is. I think
no shade.
They make you think you're smarter than you actually are because they're not telling extremely complicated stories, but they are telling stories that are based on comic books that are written very competently and do have deeper meaning. And he's kind of taking the bigger pieces from those, like Dark Knight Returns. That's a pretty nuanced book with a lot of deep meaning to it, and he just kind of took some of the top parts from it.
And the aesthetic.
He scraped the foam off the coffee, as it were, and he was like, here's all the flavor. I got the cool looking part though.
Yeah, to a degree.
But I'm gonna pour a little bit of that in there, and you'll feel a little bit smarter. You'll I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I kind of get where you're going, but you'll feel like it's a little more elevated than just here's a pop culture reference, here's some big CGI battle, here's a quip moment here, here's a quip moment there.
Right.
As you kind of get with most of the Marvel movies, which some people vehemently, hate.
Right.
Like I said, we're not Snyder haters. We're not here to piss off the Snyder cult. Maybe a little bit, just to poke a little fun at the Snyder cult. But I
don't have a problem with Snyder. I don't have a problem with Snyder.
Right.
Genuinely, I don't have a problem with Zack Snyder.
Right.
How could I? I don't know him.
Don't know this man.
I don't know him, and I don't own any of these characters, and I am not that deeply invested in any of them to ever sit down and go like, I fucking hate this man.
Exactly.
But I do think some of his movies are really hokey, really cheesy, and I think they're very predictable. He's very predictable.
Actually, that is a very good point, because that's exactly that's how I feel about the next one, BVS, which we will be reviewing.
We will be reviewing. I own it, and I haven't watched it.
Same. It's back there. I bought it because I'm doing this, so that's the only reason why I own it. That's the only reason why I own Man of Steel. That's the thing. Solid film. This is not. If I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't own it because I don't like it that much. The only DCEU movie I legitimately own is Wonder Woman, and I don't own Shazam because I just haven't bought it yet. But I love that one too. But these films,
that's a great one.
Yeah, these films, the rewatchability for me is not high. One of the reasons why I do love the MCU is because I do enjoy them and I am entertained. These movies don't really entertain me that much. Watchmen entertains me. 300 entertains me. But, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, they don't really... Justice League. Don't really entertain me. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we're doing this whole Snyder cut down thing. Just to, give our thoughts on the DCEU Snyder cut era. And
as fans.
As fans. Give our...
Genuinely.
Yeah. Give our praise.
Genuinely.
Our critiques of these movies.
Right.
So let's wrap this up. Those were our thoughts on Man of Steel, the complicatedness of this sort of a low-key masterpiece, some people would say. I wouldn't go that far, but some people really hold it up on that level. I'm not going to completely shit on that opinion, as I would have, years ago. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Man of Steel. Let us know what you think about the movie in the comments, and stick around because the next one will be a review of Batman v Superman, the Dawn of Justice, the extended
Batman vs Superman, the longest title ever.
Extended edition. Ooh, this is gonna be good because I've not watched this. I know a lot of people hype this shit up. I can't wait to see it because I hope that I'm proven wrong. We'll see.
Yeah.
But let the people know where they can find you, Crispy.
It's QuispyMan, CWISPY_MANN. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, pretty much anywhere that you can look up somebody. That's where I'm at.
All right. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this, share it, and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos.
Well, see you next week for the worst movie ever.